Hello everyone, AAA back at you with another video. I know it's been a month since I made a video, but I'm back now, and finally I'm gonna make a video about Shaheen here. This video will be a little bit different. I just kind of want to touch on some Season 2 changes that I kind of hope he gets. It shouldn't be too long of a video, I don't think. I mean, not too much to discuss, but yeah, let's just get right to it. So yeah, I feel like the general consensus with Shaheen this season is that he's super strong character, probably one of the higher top tier characters in the game. I mean, some even have him top 5. A lot of people have him top 10, and others like myself put him just outside top 10. So however way you feel about Shaheen, he's definitely up there as far as tier lists are concerned. And I do agree, he's definitely in the top half. So I expect to see more nerfs than buffs from him. But as far as wish lists are concerned, I've kind of I've compiled a pretty small list, just a small list of buffs and nerfs that he should receive for Season 2, which should be happening any day now. I mean, we've hit a year since Tekken 8's been out, so we should expect Season 2, so I think this is probably the perfect time to discuss what he should and should not get for this season, so for the next season. So let's just get right to it. So I find Shaheen super well rounded as a character. Obviously he's got your mids, he's got the lows, right, to kind of make up for his amazing set of maids, right? So I feel like it shouldn't be too hard to nerf him without, you know, making him super terrible, and I don't think he'll be terrible, but hopefully these changes will kind of make him more of a balanced character, and, you know, not make him like the monster that he already is. So let's just get right to it, okay? So let's just discuss the buffs first, and the first buff I kind of want to talk about is back 2, and this isn't really a buff, this is more of like a quality of life change. Now back 2 definitely has a little bit of range, not a whole lot, unfortunately. Yeah, not a whole lot, but sometimes it will hit from this range for whatever reason. But for the most part, the range isn't great, but that's not what I want to talk about. I want to talk about the consistency with back 2. Now, they kind of made that change some time ago about, you know, even like a small step into back 2 will be fine, and for the most part, that's true. But I want them to fix the consistency just a little bit more. Now, back 2 throw should work if you hit him from the front, but I feel like you just step and then like hit him from the side. Not even from the side, like, I don't know. I took like 2 steps there, and yeah, I just cannot get the throw animation at all. It's weirdly inconsistent for some reason. Yeah, like that worked, but this didn't. So it's I really hope that this becomes a more consistent move in the future, because I really feel like this move should be really good, you know, especially considering this is kind of part of his identity now, right, with his gray health removal, which we don't see gray health removal moves being used much from Shaheen players, I should say. I mean, I don't really see back 2 being used a whole lot, so I'm hoping that kind of changes. So that's the first thing. The second thing is running 2, and yes, they did buff running 2 for this game. Obviously it used to be 20 frames, and it was actually +6 on block instead of +5 now, but yeah, now it's 17 frames and +5, and I think it's a really good move. It does have a little bit of tracking, but you can easily step this, right? But I think the buff here would be kind of close the distance here on block, because I feel like Shaheen, he's not really a pressure character, so he doesn't have means to pressuring, and I think that's fine. But I think for a move like running 2, especially when you have Dragunov and Victor just be up right at your face when they do their respective running 2s, right? So I feel like with Shaheen, it'd be, you know, just close the distance a little bit. Like maybe here. Like I don't have to be like this close to him, but I also don't want to be far enough where I can't, where like, you know, a single backdash will have him get out of everything. You know, basically makes this +5 on block situation pretty pointless in my opinion. Now it only works at the wall, which is fine. The wall is fine, but outside of the wall, oops. Outside of the wall, it just feels really pointless. Like one backdash and they're out of there. And I know backdash is a bit scuffed in this game, but I really feel like that would help Shaheen's pressure game just a little bit more. A little bit more. So that's that. And the last change. So yeah, not a lot of buffs. I don't think Shaheen needs many buffs, if I'm being honest with you. But down forward 4-1 and down forward 4-3. So the way to beat these two strings, obviously this is mid-mid and then this is mid-high. Now the mid-high can be ducked, but the mid-mid, even if you duck, even if you try to duck after this, you will still be able to block this. I hope they get rid of that. I really hope that they kind of punish the opponent for trying to, you know, I don't know why I'm doing 4-4 a lot, but yeah. I hope they are able to get hit by the mid, the second mid there, when they try to duck the high. Because I feel like this is not really a mix-up, right? Like, this is like a good safe neutral tool to use. And then the high just for a wall splat, but, you know. The option to select here is to duck both of these options. And now obviously he has the extension here, but minus 13. But yeah, I think it would be nice if they kind of get punished for trying to duck this. And yeah, the on hit situation is kind of crazy. But yeah, so that about sums up my buffs here. Now nerfs, I think. Now obviously realistically, I think Shaheen will get hit with nerfs. Now that should be the expectation. Now, but let me tell you exactly what needs to be nerfed from Shaheen. So first and foremost, his slide. Not so much the slide, but the loop that they kind of gave him, or that they didn't try to give him, but they gave him anyway. So this particular situation here, I think they gotta nerf that. Now I don't know what they gotta do with full crouch down forward 4 here. I don't think it should flip like this at all. I think that should get nerfed. Similar to what they did to SNK2. Because I feel like this is, you know, they tried to nerf his slide loop, which, I mean, it's understandable. I think the fact that he can just kind of continue his offense from here, I'm sorry, I'm not doing it quick enough, but the fact that he can just kind of, like, continues offense from this is just ridiculous. So I think, you know, what should happen is he should just take, you know, win the mix-up exchange, and then that's it. He shouldn't like continue his offense flowingly like this, especially when you have to guess between low and mid every time, right? And especially with the change of, you know, how much easier it is to, you know, to do insta slide from stance. Like that was pretty seamless right there, right? So yeah, something like that, right? Like, this is ridiculous. That is ridiculous. So I think they gotta nerf that. Do something with this move, for sure. Just don't let him flip over like that. Maybe send him a bit further away, or even like, he should still get the guaranteed follow-up, but I feel like this should either do almost no damage, or this should not flip like that. I apologize. But yeah, you get what I'm saying. So I think they should really get rid of that. They should just do like the one mix up, and that's that, right? And then just kind of continue the game. Now the second thing is the guard break loop. Now he can do this. So I'll just show you exactly what he can do. Now he can do this all day. He can do this all day, and that was, yeah, look at the damage there. That was, you know, I just put this guy in rage with no recoverable health. So I feel like they should definitely touch on this. Now before, he still had the loop, but before the 4-2-3 change, they kind of like you can do that into this, but this can be interrupted. You can definitely find a way to interrupt that, but I think plus 10 into this is egregious enough already. But the fact that they buffed this because they tried to nerf the slide loop, which they didn't, and then they kind of gave him this instead. That kind of makes him really, really good, especially in heat mode. You know, being plus 20 there after guard break, and you know, which allows you to do another one. I think that's got to get touched. Now, the only way for this to get nerfed is if they just get rid of the frames on this. Make it, you know, make it the way it was before, where it just kind of push you further. But obviously, this was a loop at the wall. This was loopable at the wall. It wasn't plus 20, but it was plus 15, which it's just still a lot. I don't think he should loop. I don't think he should loop this at all. I think this is crazy. And then, yeah, if you guess wrong, you can just, you know, you can just back one and get a launcher or something, right? So it's a guess situation, and I really feel like I don't know. I don't feel like it's that good for the game, so that should definitely go away, right? So that should definitely get nerfed. So those are the two big things with Shaheen, but the other few things that I kind of picked on is first down forward 4-1. This is double mid and safe. Now I said that this shouldn't jail, but I also would be okay if this was minus 11 or minus 12 on block. I don't think this should jail at all. I don't think this should jail. I don't think this should be safe. So now, if this is minus 12, you know, with stance is minus 2 on block, and I think that's really good. You can kind of just disrespect the frames, right? Like, and then on hit being plus 9, I think it's crazy. So the frame, I think they should just change the frames altogether. Now the speed, the frame startup is fine, but the frame data, so this should be, yeah, like this by itself should probably be neutral on hit, and with stance maybe plus 7 instead of plus 9, because I think plus 9 is crazy. Now this is plus 8, but it's just one hit and he has the high, which is duckable. But in this case, I can just kind of throw this out like whenever I want, right? So I think that should definitely get touched a little bit. So there should be like the skill of, you know, going into stance and then canceling for this move to be safe. But if you don't know how to cancel, you can just kind of do this and be minus 9 and be fine. I mean, minus 9 is nothing. Like, yeah, you lose your turn, but it's safe. You don't get punished for it. You know, nothing's guaranteed after. They don't get anything guaranteed after that, and you still have the threat of the third hit here too, right? So I think that should this should definitely be unsafe. The stance should still be probably like minus 4, minus 5. I think minus 4 is fine. But the frames, yeah, the frames on hit, this should be plus 7, and then this should be 0 or something. So I think they should definitely reduce all the frame data by either 2 or 3. 2 or 3. So whether this is plus 6 or plus 7, or this is, you know, minus 12, minus 5, something like that, right? So just some things to, you know, just some things I think to think about with this move, because I think this move is really, really good. This is a really good move, right? So definitely would consider nerfing that just a little bit. I still think this whole sequence should be safe. It's a stance cancel, that should be safe, but just doing down 4-1 by itself and it being minus 9, I think is crazy good. Maybe underrated even. So I think that should definitely get touched. The other thing, his down 4-2 kind of has high crushing. So this can actually evade highs. Now I don't know. I think that should be gone because he already has this. He already has this move to evade highs. I don't know if he needs, you know, another high crushing launcher. I don't think he needs that. So definitely would consider nerfing that and just, you know, make this not high crush. Forward 4. 4-4 I think is super strong because this is a 15 frame homing high that knocks down on normal hit into guaranteed back four. So what I think should get nerfed about this move are a few things. First, this does chip damage, so 6 chip damage, which is, you know, more than I'm comfortable with. I don't think this should, if this is gonna do chip damage, this should do like 3 or 2 max, no more than that, right? But otherwise, I don't think this should chip at all. I don't think this should knock down on normal hit because no other character has this. Not to my knowledge anyway. And this is 15 frames. If this was slower, like I'd say maybe like 17 or 18, then yeah, the knockdown on it is fine. But the fact that he can knock down at 15 frames, you know, decent range too. And then you have all the time in the world to get a back four here. All the time in the world, right? So I think the chip damage on it should get nerfed. I think the frames, this is -2 on block. -2. I mean, that's kind of pretty absurd. So I think this should also be -5, and this pushback is kind of crazy. So I think maybe the pushback should not exist at all. Now, Shaheen's always had this move, and this was always -2, but I think the nature of this game, you know, everyone wanting to kind of sidestep and get out of pressure situations, I think this is really good. Right? So you gotta understand like the game mechanics of Tekken 8 and how, you know, this becomes a really important tool for Shaheen. And he already has a really good mid-homing in down forward 3, which, you know, 20 damage, this does wall tactics, +9. Sure, you're far away, but it's +9, right? So, like, look at the wall, +20. Like, you dare try to get out, and you're kind of trapped there. But yeah, this should also not knock down on normal hit. I think this should knock down on counter hit. Now, should it still wall splat? I wouldn't mind if it wall splatted, because I think characters still have the wall splatting, you know, homing highs, right? Some of them do. So I think it should definitely still wall splat, but it should probably do the ballerina spin. So plus frames more than anything, because I think that's what makes Shaheen so good, right? Like, you know, that's kind of Shaheen's deal. Like, you shouldn't like be able to knock down, right? Like, not that easily, not from standing, right? So yeah, I think this should definitely get touched. This should just spin. This should spin, and then like on counter hit, just knock down. It should just knock down like exactly like this on counter hit, and then you get the guaranteed damage or whatever, right? Yeah. So the other thing actually, power crush. Everyone has problems with, you know, heat engaging power crushes that are safe on block. Shaheen, he's one of those characters that has those, right? Now, I remember seeing the Season 2 trailer, and I'm not sure if they've actually got rid of it already, because they gave him this, and this is the new heat engager now for Shaheen. We saw the trailer, right? But in this case, I'm going to assume that they didn't touch the power crush, so they should really nerf this. So I don't mind it being a 16 frame power crush that's safe. What I do mind, however, is the fact that it heat engages. And I think this just, obviously, you know, this bows really well with Shaheen's heat mode game, because you can just loop this as well. So it all just connects at the end of the day, right? Yeah, I think this is really good. This is a really good tool to have. Now, they did nerf the tracking on it, so this actually doesn't home anymore. The range isn't the best, but even so, still -9, still safe. And yeah, I think it's super strong. I don't think this should heat engage at all. Yeah, the fact that Shaheen can just throw this out whenever, and it's 16 frames. It's really fast, like almost as fast as his launchers, right? Almost as fast as this, right? So, just yeah, I think they should definitely touch this. They should definitely get rid of the fact that it heat engages altogether, and instead, it should still be the same frames, properties. So this knockdown, I'm okay with this knockdown, honestly. I mean, I've been using this move for a long time. You know, I used this when this wasn't a wall bounce in second 7, so I'm okay with whatever they decide to do with it, as long as it doesn't heat engage, because, I mean, The fact that he can do this, get 44 damage is crazy. And then +5. Yeah, I think this is ridiculous, in my opinion. But yeah. So yeah, I think overall, I think Shaheen should get some frame nerfs, just a bit. His loops, his loopable offense, I think should also kind of go away. Like, they should just nerf forward 2-3 altogether. And then obviously his slide loop that they tried to nerf earlier. You know, earlier in this game's lifespan. They should definitely just get rid of it. Get rid of the loop altogether. Just give us the one mix and just kind of get it done, right? So, but yeah, otherwise I think I'm okay with this character. Like, I think this character's in a really good spot. Obviously he's gotten reworked from Tekken 7, Tekken 8. I think he's a super fun character to play, super fun to watch, and I hope they don't do anything too drastic with him. Now those nerfs I feel like are very justifiable, especially in this game's current state. Now this is under your pressure that all the other top tier, high tier characters also gets nerfed, because if he gets nerfed and, you know, the other characters don't get touched, then I would say Shaheen is not as good in as good of a spot, right? But yeah, as long as, you know, they make back to a little bit more consistent. Yeah, it hit there. So, but yeah, I hope they kind of like rework this move a little bit, because I feel like the fact that it can't hit like this, it's just, I think it's stupid. So yeah, like consistency and maybe overall rework of back two, I think would help a lot to make this move very viable. Down 4-4-1 jailing, I think that would help a lot with kind of throwing this out, right? Instead of worrying that this will get ducked every time you use it, right? What else? And yeah, I mean, running 2, that was the other buff that I kind of brought up. Just make the, you know, make it not have a whole lot of pushback on block, then, because otherwise, you know, this +5 on block thing doesn't really matter, except when you're at the wall. Yeah, I think Shane's in a good spot. I don't think they need to do anything else with him. I don't think he should get many changes, in fact. Like, we know they did something with his 4-3 on counter hit, so this is already automatically a nerf. So this launches, but instead he now gets 4-3 into stance, 4-3 into stance dash on counter hit. So that's already kind of a nerf, but it would all depend on what this does with heat dash, right? So we'll find out soon enough. But anyway, that's all I got for this video. I do promise a Shaheen guide will come, but I just thought to kind of do this little video first before I do a whole complete guide on Shaheen and how to play him. So thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Take care.